episode 17.
Hi, how are ya?
A prime number, actually. 17 consists of 1 and 7. 7's a lucky number. Is this a lucky session? I don't know. But 1 and 7 is 17, therefore it's a prime number. Maybe this is a prime session. Welcome back to the Labyrinth.
What the frick just happened?
Welcome back to the Labyrinth. You guys have just found Daedalus, maybe, after giving him the very logical and intelligent test of, are you Daedalus? And he responded yes. So, you're suddenly looking at a very tall man with gray hair, and he's kind of analyzing all of you, up and down.
Does he look really old?
Not ancient, but he's maybe early 70s, mid 60s, maybe.
Does he look sick?
No.
Is he Kane?
No.
Is he Deckard Cain?
Oh, fuck!
Sorry.
Yes.
Sorry.
Ah, you see?
God, that was funny.
Do you want me to?
No. I never again do I want you to.
I was so sad that we didn't get to that, to beat him in our Diablo 3 playthrough yet.
Oh.
I couldn't wait.
Play it more on the harder difficulty.
That's true. I want to look around. What is in the room besides him?
A lot of stuff, actually. So there's a cauldron, there's that holographic table that I told you about that had like a projection of what looks like parts of the labyrinth. Yes.
When we're saying holographic, we're talking like a table like Tony Stark, where you like brings up the 3D stuff.
Yes.
Cool.
That's cool.
There are weapons along the walls. There are different potion bottles and apothecary set. There are bookshelves, and just beyond the bookshelves, I want you all to imagine that you're looking at him and he's straight on. There's a door off behind him to his right, and then to your left, there's a bunch of bookshelves, and through the bookshelves, you can see there's like a living area that he's set up for himself. There's a bed, there's a small kitchen, there's stuff. Out of the ceiling, there are roots and like vines from various plants, and there's actually like blossoms and fruit and things like that. He has orchestrated this room so that he could be here long term, is my point. Is that he looks like he has made this deliberately to be comfortable for him. Also, it's obvious he has been doing experiments down here because there's a lot of half-assed things like everywhere, and you're worried about touching anything because it might explode.
That noise, is it the cauldron?
Yes.
What is in it?
Dinner.
Oh,
I'm
he
asking-
says
I'm asking
dinner.
DM. I'm
No,
asking DM, not
you
him.
look at it, and he looks at you looking at it, and he's like,
Are there any other creature artifacts like in the workshop, like the dragon egg,
Oh,
Medusa
got it.
head? Are there anything like that in this room?
Half-built things.
no. The only life in here is him and the plant life. And the flame under the cauldron.
At the front of my mind, I'm going to be actively asking, posing a question to primarily Dionysia, because
Okay, good.
she has
So I
access
have
to
one
my
too.
mind.
I have one too.
No.
Oh.
But I don't want to say it out loud
Shit.
for Daedalus's ears.
Can he read my mind?
We all like.
Yeah.
Oh.
I can read anybody's mind,
Okay.
But I just want to have this question at the forefront so it's easy for you to find. And I just want to know how you feel about Daedalus in this moment and what you would like to do regarding Daedalus, because I know that you're here on kind of a mission. So I don't want to take the lead in any way, but I will assist you in whatever that you believe needs to be done, because we've grown kind of attached. We've been through a lot of shit together, so I'm cool with helping. I don't really have much of an opinion about Daedalus, per se, other than the fact that I think he's abundantly smart.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he might be useful in that sense in terms of progression, like progress in the world and all that.
I think the feeling, I'm not especially great with words today, but you would get more of a feeling than like a definitive answer from her right now. You would get a feeling of,
that's fair.
I'm more interested in finding out the truth than I am like actively seeking revenge.
Okay.
I want to know before I do anything.
Right.
Okay. Yeah.
I'd be happy to like share that with the whole group via the little link, so that everybody knows.
That's how I feel as well, actually.
Speaking of said mental prowess ability, I want to read him. I want to see if I can get a feel on him as to whether or not it's actually him.
Give me a d20.
Expecting statistical watch. Natural 20.
You know that it's Daedalus. And you also are hearing thoughts of... Where did they come from? They must have come from the castle. However, they don't really have any rich royal garb. They don't come with any sort of royal decree of me returning. They're not carrying any sort of sign of any sort of indication of what they would like them to... What is that on the wall? It's warm in here. Maybe I should turn it down.
The fuck?
And with...
His mind wanders.
I'm going to... So my intent for this conversation, hearing that, I'm going to be like, he can't say anything but yes or no, but he can think it. So every time I ask him a question, I'm going to be trying to read.
Right.
Or actually, no, with mental prowess
That's
right
cheating.
now. Yep, for sure.
It's not cheating to me.
Yep. With mental prowess, I'm going to ask him, why can you not speak normally if your thoughts are clear?
The first wave of thought is Hera. And he rolls his eyes and says, no.
Well, so, but he thought Hera.
Yeah. He doesn't know you can mental prowess.
Hera has cursed you?
Yes. You can actually, he's actually kind of relieved because he like rolled his eyes and he's just like, this is not going to work. And he actually like pulled out some parchment to write his code on. And you're just like, Hera cursed you?
Conversation!
He then like touches his head. He's like, I'm kind of out of practice with this. However, did you come from my chambers?
Yes, through the wings.
Did you look in the wardrobe?
Yes.
Did you find the bottom drawer?
I think so, yeah.
Was there a small jar with brittle pieces of obsidian that was like a powder?
That was the potion that I took, right? No,
You drank
that was...
the potion, and then there was a small
Okay.
mortar pestle with a top kind of thing that
Didn't
had the
somebody...
powder.
Did somebody take that? I don't have it in my inventory.
I remember you took the mortar pestle. But you just didn't write it down.
Shit.
I did not. Hopefully, I didn't.
Tommy, like, honest DM question. I don't remember.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
So I'm going to go with fact, which is if you don't have it written down, you did not take it.
Fair deal.
Which
But
means,
we did see it at least.
Yes.
And that's
So
what
he'll
I was
say,
asking.
do you have it?
No.
He
Can I-
will literally, as ancient Greco-Roman can do, and he slides it down his face, and then whips off his hand off his chin, and he's like, no?
I feel like you've made great strides today, just even having a conversation with somebody unorthodox as it is.
That could have cured me.
Why can't you go back to the castle?
So his mind, good question. His mind wanders for there's nothing there that I want,
Sure.
and all my attention is here. And his energy drifts toward the door that's behind him.
What's behind the door?
You will get the overwhelming impression of his son.
I thought Icarus was dead.
He shakes his head, doesn't even think it. He's just like,
Oh. That's different.
Is he hale and healthy? So you guys are basically just like hearing my side of the conversation, huh?
Yep.
he shudders and closes his eyes and slightly shakes his head, and his thoughts are basically, I hope so. He is in a place that is not reachable to me, and Hera put him there to keep my silence.
What does Hera have against you?
Okay, so it's like a fire, like a flash of information, which it all centers around one word: souls.
To the party now. Pull out these souls I gave you. And I'm gonna reach into my bag.
Super jovially like this.
Slowly.
And we're all, I'm just going to, once everybody has them out, I'm just gonna Like these?
Okay, so all 4 of you pulled them out.
Yep.
Undyne then sees, like, she's scratching the top of her head awkwardly because she's like, this is a
Oh shit, she's not.
this is a long silent break. She sees all of you whip it out. She's like, is there like a flash mob about to happen? Like, what's happening right now?
I forgot you were here. Sorry.
What the what?
I'm focused.
I saved your life.
Thank you.
Way back when. I don't remember.
I'm really gonna interject to be like, she's like this.
I didn't
Let her do her
forget
thing.
you.
Dionysia, not Dionysia, wow. He's not even paying attention to what she's saying. Daedalus sees all the souls, and I'm very much against this philosophy as Tommy, but I'm gonna use the words. It's like he can't help himself but walk forward and like try to not quite grab at, but like almost automatically reaches for like them as a whole. And
I'm
like
gonna pull mine so that like
so as soon as a one starts to like be jerked away, he's like he remembers himself. He's like, like so you're seeing a wildfire of like, oh my gosh, that's exactly, oh my, there's so many colors. I've only seen the one. There's, oh my gosh, this is exactly what could end up being. This is exactly how.
And I'm gonna mental prowess to the rest of the party again and just say, put them away.
Okay, I'm gonna do that, but I'd like to mental you.
I'm gonna mental
Trevor's
you.
like, pull him out, put him away.
Have
I'm gonna
you-
hop up too. Like
Red light, green light.
I wanted to ask you, like, have you been hearing voices at all?
Yes. I'll even say it out loud.
Do you say that out loud?
By the way,
No, I don't. I mental it.
Okay.
for like clarity's sake, I think I forgot to say this. I would like to be saying these things out loud to Daedalus and then hearing his replies in my head.
Okay.
So hopefully they'll at least be hearing my side of the conversation.
Okay.
Oh, I
Take-
thought we were just hearing your side of the head.
I thought so too.
6
So
of one,
that's
half a
that's
dozen.
why Undyne was so like, what's going on?
Yeah, sorry, I said
Okay.
that poorly.
That's
I
okay.
can. We'll say that I start doing that now. Now that Agate's brought it to
Okay.
my attention,
All right.
that makes more sense. My bad. Yes, sorry, was wrapped up in a conversation. What were you doing with the souls?
He was trying to so he's gonna walk away with his back to you and like rubbing his temples and like trying to organize his thoughts because he's suddenly very excited and very much wanting to like answer everything but also ask for something, but he also knows he can't ask for anything, so he's like about to like try to like write a code, but then he also thinks like maybe he can just mention the prowess it, blah blah blah. So he says he was the one who found the very first down here. It was a jade green, and it was in one of the catacombs. It just fell out of the ceiling. It just appeared one day. He took it, didn't tell anyone, and he brought it here, and he studied it with Icarus. And they quickly figured out what it was. And as soon as he found out, he went back up to the castle, all the way to the castle, and went to the College of Olympia and told his scholars, because they all learned from him, go find more. There will be more if there is one. And so he connected the soul's existence with the death of the gods, and therefore the falling of the stars. Because if you guys remember, the stars are falling because the constellations directly translate to the power being held by any respective god. It's been a long time since I've mentioned that, but
Yep.
there it is again.
Thank you for saying that again. 'Cause
Yeah.
I forgot.
So the stars are falling because people are losing faith in gods, therefore gods are dying and leaving souls behind. He was able to deduce all of that from his different studies on that one, and he's only ever seen one. Because he abandoned the castle by the time you guys arrived. And his scholars saw your guys' collection, but he never saw them. He was down here. He's trying... So as soon as he realized what it was and sent out the expedition, including Poe, who went to Narn and Redstone to try to find more for him, he tried to go south, and he failed because
On the ship?
he was cursed halfway through his trip, and then he quickly turned back around.
That's why we
Because
saw him on the ship.
Off the ship, Hera took Icarus away and hid him in the in-between. And that's where he'll stop thinking and be like, they don't know what the in-between is.
Is it behind that door?
Yes.
Icarus is, according to Daedalus, but I presume his soul is not.
What?
Icarus. If he's caught in this in-between, like physically his body's back there, but
Yes.
So
He, in Totem, is in the in-between.
Since I can deduce where the conversation is going, I've been wanting to know. So I'm going to ask you to ask, basically. Like, of what value is a fallen god's soul to you?
I mean, he can hear you, and I'll just read his mind.
Right.
So he hears you, and he says. So he will gesture ardently towards the door, and open it for you. And there's a corridor that leads to a very large set of iron doors, and there's no handle, there's no lock, they're just sealed, and they're not quite Stygian, but they're ancient. Like, they're worn, and they're obviously not of the same quality or energy as the labyrinth itself. Therefore, you're getting the impression that Hera interrupted the development of the labyrinth in that like hallway or vein, and put it there. It's hard for me to describe, but basically, it looks almost deliberately out of place.
I was about to say
Yeah.
It's out of place and very well made.
Yes.
Fucking with the steez.
So he's gesturing there, as in he's behind those doors, and then he'll gesture back, and he'll guide you to a table next to the holographic table, and he'll unveil something that's for fun. It's around the same size and shape of Captain America's shield, but it's black, and there's like little sockets in its dome surface where he has already put a green soul stone inside of it, and he tries to think, like, he's trying to guide his thoughts to like try to show you that of him like lifting it and putting it on the doors to blow them apart.
Are we making an infinity shield? Sorry. Are we Okay, first off, is it a shield? This is a sort of general question.
I'm comparing the size and the shape. It's not a shield.
mighty
It's probably your character's thought at first when
It
they're
is
like, oh, it's a weird shield.
It's a
But then
holder.
when he describes in his head what he would do with it, you're like, that's not a shield, that's a
Okay.
bomb.
Yeah, it's classic. It's a C4 like breaching charge.
Yes.
I'm gonna ask, what happens to the stones after the detonation?
He looks at Dionysia and thinks, does it matter?
Yes.
I don't know.
That's fair.
How many sockets are there on the thing?
There's 4, but it's less about how many sockets to like lay them into, and more like just leading into a pocket behind. You're basically dropping them into like a little cubby inside, so that the energy can build.
I want to ask, why does Hera require the energy of fallen gods to blast through a door that she made?
She doesn't. He does.
No, but I mean, like, she... Oh, okay, so she made a door. So the
He's
fallen
just looking
gods'
to blow it up.
energies, like, Hera doesn't really have, like intent of him finding them and to blow up the doors. So the doors have nothing to do with the energy. It's just a tool to get through the doors, per se.
Asking him that.
He nods and smirks and says, what is created by the gods can be undone by the gods.
Oh, okay. That's fair. So we're holding on to these stones of, like, stupid power, and we're going to use them to blow a door up.
Yeah. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
I mean, that's the one concrete answer that I've been given all the times that I've asked people,
What are you gonna do with
the stones?
Yeah.
So I'm kind of on board with this, and I'm like, you want to freaking do this or what? Like,
Trevor,
I'm cool with it.
give me a d20. Magic check.
I'm down with this.
30.
You hear another voice in your head that's not in your head. It's another voice that you hear echoing through his.
Oh.
And it's like right here in his head, in the same direction as the door that leads to Icarus. And the voice says, make sure that it makes sense.
What did the voice sound? Masculine, feminine? Could I tell?
Make sure that it makes sense. I'm sorry,
Is it a
I
voice
didn't hear
we've
it,
heard
but I'm
before?
still intrigued.
Is it a voice I've heard before?
There's a lot of
I'm gonna
voices
shoot for
going on.
no,
Mm-hmm.
but there is something about it that you're like, should I remember this?
Does it sound anything like Daedalus?
No.
I swear to God, if we open these doors and just like Prince Septimus, I would be like,
I thought you were going to say Enclave of Clave. I was like, no, we killed him.
We killed you.
Do not bring him back.
This is my final form!
T-H-O-T.
damn it, Septimus came back. He's waited like 16 episodes.
Bro, I forgot Septimus existed.
I know, right? Oh, there he is. We gotta go back to Redstone, guys.
Stardust.
We gotta let them know. We gotta inform the Jarl. We gotta complete this mission from episode 3.
Jesus Christ.
3.
3. A combination of
No,
3 and
5.
5.
Ah.
Sorry.
So,
Icarus is Septimus. Septimus is Icarus.
Illuminati confirmed.
Hammer is Septimus.
That's enough. Back on track.
So you
Come
finally
on
know
now.
the truth. Turn to Hammer. What the hell?
Hammer's like, I have a dong.
You say that out loud, and Daedalus just slowly pulls out just like a sword, like, now you must die.
Fantastic. I love where this is going.
So you need to get through these doors. And we potentially have the means to help you do this.
You hear the thought in his head go, you want to bargain for what?
Answers.
Okay.
We found things in your laboratory.
And he's trying, upon that, he thinks, like, what did I leave behind that could make
Oh.
anybody upset? There was a dragon egg, there was a harpy skeleton, there
I'll
was
pull the hair tie out of my dreads and let
The dramatic reveal!
the snakes kind of go and show just a brief glimpse of the Gorgon inside. I'm not going to, like, flash Gorgon him, but I want him to know what I am.
So he will see that less as he'll be surprised, like whoa, but then he will see your lack of attack, and then wonder like, okay, she's preparing to like be hostile, but I still don't understand.
Reach for my bag onto the table in front of him, and the loud thud.
Okay, so he will approach the table. He'll approach it, and like just peek just enough to see the neck.
Mm-hmm.
Do you do anything?
No.
Okay. To see the neck, and then he'll drop it and go, are you upset that I have this?
Where did you get it?
From King Minos.
Oh.
He is telling the truth.
Oh.
He's a dick.
And the snakes will settle slightly.
He wanted me to try to find some sort of way to weaponize Gorgon venom. He's an idiot. Because Gorgons don't have venom.
Is he still alive? Can you ask him?
We've killed
Minos?
Oh,
Was that-
fuck, that's right!
No, he killed Minos.
Oh, why
You're welcome, by the way.
for...
Yeah, I
Right,
actually
okay.
was going to say, I'm going to close the flap, I'm going to put the bag back on my shoulder,
I am
and I'm
actually-
just
I'm
going
so
to walk
glad-
over to Angoramir and just hug him.
I am so
And
glad.
start bawling my eyes out.
Okay.
Oh.
Give me a d20 on that ball strength.
Cry check! Natural 20! That's,
I'm wet.
and
we
not
group
in the
hug?
sexy way.
Yeah, not in a sexy way.
So
Group
you know
hug?
how
We
in
should
cartoons
group hug.
that they playfully create like waterfalls that go
Yeah.
up and then arc down? I'm gonna imagine that you push part of your face into him, and then the other half goes like out. So there's one spout that shoots out, and then you have like a waterfall going down your crotch area, but you're a horse, so it goes
It's
down
like-
both chests.
My
You're
navel.
like,
I just imagine that it starts out with the hug, and then there's like one small sob, and then it just breaks.
Can I...
I'm
we
that
do
very.
group hug?
Yeah.
I am selfishly. Yes, you can do group hug.
I mean,
Absolutely.
she's in no state to answer, so you can certainly try.
Don't
I'm
even
super
try.
okay with this, and I'm gonna ask Dionysia if, because I've surmised, because I haven't heard Daedalus's answers, but I've surmised kind of like what happened, and I want to ask Dionysia if, I want to say, do you want me to tell Daedalus about King Minos?
Upon seeing your breakdown, by the way, and does everybody hug?
Yes.
Okay, everyone take one unity point.
Aww.
Unity.
When Daedalus sees your reaction and then sees the group hug, he absolutely understands that this head was connected to somebody that had some sort of significance.
It was connected to somebody.
to at least you, maybe all four of you. He doesn't know. Doesn't matter. But in response, he is trying to quiet his thoughts to give you privacy and trying to like become invisible against the wall to like just let this play out, because you also can tell at the end of it all, he really wants your souls in your pockets.
Yeah.
So he's trying to be as kind and patient and polite as possible, while also like, come on, you know. So that's what's happening.
Mind if I roll to see if I hear the come on.
Sure.
Just
Hammer and
out of
Undyne look
curiosity.
on as you guys are doing that. You're so
Complete 180.
You are so
You know, that is
gone.
so fucking
That's
thematic,
a-
though.
that is
That is an
really
amazing roll for the
That is
moment.
really thematic.
When nat ones make the scene awesome.
Yeah. But yeah, my question still stands there, buddy.
You
There's
beautiful
there.
creature.
That's rough, buddy.
What is that? You're like Ron Weasley comforting Hermione in book 3.
Oh,
My girlfriend turned into the moon.
that's rough, buddy.
I got your reference.
Yeah, thank you.
Hell yeah, I got that. Honestly, in Zuko's point, there's nothing to say in that situation.
No.
She'll give
Not a
you
scene
like
with him.
when you ask that, she'll kind of like nod against your. I guess even with how tall you are, even though she's pretty tall, it'd be like your navel,
I was gonna say you're nodding into
like your
my
diaphragm.
upper abdomen, like. So I'm gonna say, Daedalus, I would like to inform you that
I'd like to bargain.
I would like to take this opportunity. I'd like to take this opportunity to inform you that I killed King Minos.
His eyes raise. There's a mosquito in the house.
Dun 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 dun.
And
It died.
he says
He did.
that
Wait, Tommy.
So, he will say nothing. Like, he'll nod and go and think like, there goes my last paycheck. But
I like this.
that does make it much easier to return.
Good.
And now nobody can attribute his death to me. Is Alana still alive?
The princess.
Oh, did he actually say that out loud?
I'll
Can't
relay
talk
it.
out loud. So,
I know. That's
everything is
terrifying.
mentally like towards you, but
Yeah.
heard by her.
I'll play translator.
Okay, cool.
Is Alana alive?
Is a lot alive.
Choose Alana.
Well,
And the princess.
The first thought he has is boobs, and he's like, "Princess, I'm sorry you
Princess
didn't
boobs.
Oh, the really loud one that tried to run away.
Yes.
that." She is definitely loud.
To my knowledge, she is alive.
We left her so.
Okay.
She was hysterical after seeing Minos. Appropriately so.
Oh, I wonder if she'll need comfort.
She probably needed
I'm gonna
it.
give him like a little mental like.
You actually like do a little jab mentally.
Oh,
He's-
sexually.
and he winces like,
Oh.
ah.
Oh.
Yeah, it's called brain freeze.
I didn't even know that was possible.
It's cold water to pour over your erection. Not
Alright.
the time.
Do you know how old you are?
How old?
Daedalus is.
Okay, so you're gonna say that he's gonna look at you and go like,
How
tiefling.
old are you?
Yes.
yes.
Have you not seen me this whole time?
She's just like juggling fire. Like,
Wildly at everything.
Well, fuck me, I guess. Just
Activating chainsaws and juggling them too. Like, notice
taking
me,
chainsaws
senpai!
out of fire.
notice me.
Be Daedalus senpai.
A pulse like gets summoned and she dances around it like nothing, really, nothing.
This ain't hot enough for you.
So you'll ask him, "Do you know how old you are?" And he's like, "Yes."
Oh.
No.
Uh-oh.
And in his head, he's like, "Oh gods, how long have I been down
Yeah,
here?"
right.
Point made.
There's no mirror down here.
The year is now 2055.
Shit. Daedalus, my God, you've been down here for millennia.
I believe it.
Messing with him.
I believe it.
Jesus. Who's that? You'll know.
Alright, hey, by the way, we're trying to commission you to make a cross. Would you do that? Like,
Yeah, with the stones.
We want like a T, but like lowercase.
what's a T? Is that like a theta?
No, it's like a liquid you make out of leaves and hot juice.
Oh, I'm
Hot
really
leaf
lost.
A lowercase.
This tea is just hot leaf juice.
As he is seeing you guys like start to break away and like you're starting to wipe your tears away and your makeup comes off even though you're not wearing makeup, he sees you and he's like
Scales just slough off.
cruelly interrupted by a question of his age. Very rude. And then he looks back to you and says, "May I request your help with the souls?"
I'm gonna project the question to my companions.
Excuse me.
I'm game, because I don't know what's going on in
You
the
know
back
what?
of your head.
I'll, no, I won't include Hammer and Undyne. Oh, fuck it, this is for the four of us.
Rude.
So, 2 votes yes.
Will they be destroyed?
He doesn't know.
He doesn't
Yeah,
know.
I don't know.
Okay, I missed that.
That's okay. I've been talking a lot.
Like, half jokingly in my mind, be like, we can always kill more gods.
To be honest, I'm cool with using this because I've been carrying it for a long time and it's attracting a lot of freaking trouble. And finally, there's a use for it.
Mm-hmm.
My
So that's
inventory
where I'm
is approaching
What
full.
color are you wearing? Are you holding?
He's got the
Red.
original.
The red?
The one we got from
Which
Poe,
means
right?
you've been holding it for 2 sessions.
I've got.
I've been holding it for so long.
You know
Literally
what? For
the
the
one
amount of
you
trouble
held
that
the
we've had
longest.
while we had it,
Hey, man. The stones in general, I was speaking about.
Oh.
The party holding them. We've
Got it.
had them for a long time. And, you know, we're killed by famous rappers or
Right.
attacked by them, at least.
Daedalus is staring at you, rambling. He's like, "Can I please just have them?"
What? That's ridiculous.
Sorry.
Well,
I'm game. I think that's
Yes,
unanimous.
I'd like to help him save his son.
I'll take mine out and
are we cool with
put it
this?
on the table.
For sure?
Yep.
You're, yeah?
Yes.
Okay. I'm all like a bowling ball. Oh, just kidding.
Denise here, catch!
He
Slowly.
tries to then. So after they're all put into the shield bomb thing, he tries to
Shield
lift it,
bomb.
and his head, he's like, "Oh, this is a lot heavier than it was." Okay.
Well, we gotta go. Okay, bye.
And then struggling to lift it, Hammer approaches and says, "Would you like some help?" He's like, "Yes." And they mutually lift it. And then Hammer's like, "Undyne, get the door." She's like, "What?"
Get the door, please.
"Oh, I'm sorry."
Thank
and she
you.
opens the door that you guys came through.
I opened the other door with mental prowess.
You could have specified.
Too much work.
Got it. So you guys head through the new door, down the corridor, towards the doors that should not belong.
What a different campaign this would be without mental prowess.
I know.
So fucking glad I took it.
Wow.
Yeah.
You have counterspell and teleport.
I think it's just counterspell.
Not teleport yet.
I don't have teleport yet. That's
Oh.
next level.
Oh,
I
I,
think.
I thought you took.
Nope.
Okay.
Oh no, next level is full life. Anyway,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, because that's level 8.
Very important.
I hope you're getting some willpower.
This door closes behind you, not like you're suddenly locked into a corridor, but like just naturally it just shuts behind you on its hinge. And Daedalus is like stumbling as he's trying to walk backwards toward this door, and then his back hits it, and he's like, "Oof, no." And then Hammer helps him adhere it with this like white paste that he like has a little like can of on his belt, and he like gets a brush and he like paints at certain points, and then he paints more. And your guys are just sort of watching, and you're definitely aware that there's a different feeling. Magic users, you are definitely aware of like this this void feeling coming from the doors. Not from the doors literally, but like beyond them. That there is some sort of absence of life. So like you can't sense a mind or a life force or anything beyond it. So, and Goromir especially, since you're so in tune with nature, you are aware that it's like this is the end of the world. Like
Oh.
the world is on a singular road, for instance,
feeling
and you
good about
suddenly reach the end of it.
I'm gonna have like a little point of order here.
Lastly, Pyra, because you are so in tune with nether realm kind of energy and underworld, and you've been to the underworld-ish, you were on the precipice of it, you are aware that the feeling is similar, but not the same.
Somewhere I've not been.
I feel like
And
we're.
Agat's like, well, this is finally new, guys.
Yep, pretty much. 100%.
I feel like we're
I like it.
approaching the end of the world.
Barrack!
I'm gonna pray.
Barrett comes to the door.
Were you expecting anything else?
Obama. I missed him.
I've been following you guys.
Barack Obama.
You're not easy to find. I'm not
funny
sure
story.
where we are, but here we are.
I feel like I've been traveling through a labyrinth of sorts.
This place is fucking crazy.
One of the funniest things I think you said this campaign
Yeah.
was when you were pretending to be Obama and you said, like,
There would be
two sides, one problem. Should come together. Live in harmony. I have listened to that a few times. I'm just like, that was so on point. That was so great.
bipartisan. Stand up to Congress. Sorry.
Vote independent.
So, you made a point of order.
I say that out loud. I'm all like, I feel like we're approaching the end of the world. Like there's nothing exists beyond this.
It's the end of
like,
the
door.
world as we know it.
It's the end of the world as we shooby-dooby-dooby-dooby know it. Hey, it's the end.
They like start singing
of
and
the
then you see
world
just a
as
proud
we
face
know
and
it,
walks
know
out.
it, know it, know it,
Pyro
know
catches it on
know
fire.
it.
I feel fine.
The device is adhered to the doors.
Should the wind not be in the room for the booma booma?
How big is the boom boom?
From Russia, with love.
Daedalus scratches his head and he's like, well, I don't know, actually.
Let's err on the side of not getting blown up. Everybody out!
The souls start flashing. Like,
Run!
Like, so,
Run where?
I'm just gonna turn and
You don't-
sprint for the doors.
you don't quite see what happened, and that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
You don't quite see because they're in that cubby that I told you about that you put them into. So you're not sure what's happening to the souls inside of that little pocket, but the light that is dispersing out of those four ports is bright, pure white.
You know, I forgot to ask, like, how he knew that it was going to be a bomb. How did he make this bomb?
Too late!
So as you guys are running, you get to the door, and then suddenly,
I have questions.
everybody give me a dex check.
Oh, Jesus.
Just
Oh
shove
yeah, I got this.
7.
4.
11 plus 8.
18.
Is-
Oh, but you still beat me because of your dex bonus.
Oh wait, I have one hex.
5.
Dionysia, you are the only one that makes it on the other side of the door.
I started running before everybody else.
8 dex!
Yeah, but I started running for everybody else. It's called a head start, yo! Who's saying still can't beat me if I'm standing 3 inches from the finish line?
I have 4 legs.
I'm 300.
There is a maelstrom of sound that erupts from the doors. But surprisingly,
Sound
none of
maelstrom
you
sounds like.
are hurt. Because, yeah, it was a very large explosion, but not like fiery and like debris flying everywhere and like Undyne speared through the heart again.
It's a godly
Again.
explosion.
There's like none of that. It's more so like a big boom that none of you get to see because all of you are trying to run, including Hammer, who's just like, oh, people are running, I guess. And as you all turn around and pick yourselves up, the doors are blasted off their hinges and on the ground, and now there is rubble that seems to be hither and thither, if you will. And
Well, is it hither or is it thither? There's a big difference.
Thither and hither.
and you're a little confused
Oh.
though because that light that was flashing seems to not be absent. It seems to still be there, but it's not flashing now. It's a continual like, oh, kind of light.
Was Daedalus right there when it went off?
He's on the ground near you guys, but now he's like picking himself up, and he's just like,
How fun it would be if you just had like had a heart attack right now.
It's okay.
I will finally get to see my son. Oh,
Not funny at all, you.
He just falls over and I'm like,
jackass.
life.
Don't talk to
And then he just has a heart attack again.
glad you're.
It's like that breaks the curse because he died and came back. It's like, shit, we should have done this an hour ago.
Man, 4,000 XP. So
Dang.
on that point, though, you guys do receive a solid bonus because you chose to give up your souls. Not
Hey.
SOU wills. But you took the chance that they weren't going to come back to you.
Right.
All of you receive
80,000 experience.
800 XP.
Cool.
Dude, Jenny, chill that out.
It's a big moment.
I almost dinged.
I'm close to,
Yeah.
I'm
not
gonna
close
ding.
at all.
715 points.
I'm 900 away.
Rock bottom.
1,500.
That's a good
You're
episode.
getting there. It's
pretty solid.
Pretty solid. It's decent. It's tolerable. You suck.
That's amazing.
I just want to hear, like, you have to assume that he's done it in his life. I want to hear Obama smack talk somebody.
I love
Oh
this.
yeah, he did.
Whatever this is, I
He
love
called
it.
Kanye a jackass. When he did the.
Appropriate.
He's a jackass. I swear. I will find it.
As you guys look on into the light, you see a figure walking forward towards you guys.
Jesus.
And there are large
Culturally
wings.
sensitive. His name is Jesus.
Alright, here's the moment where I'm going to shut all of you guys up so that I can finally talk, okay?
Felt like this was the moment.
Yeah. There are giant wings that are coming out around his back. And then they flutter close, and you notice that it was actually just a disformation of the light that caused the wings to look bigger. Because as they close, you notice that the wings actually close on the shoulder area. And as the figure comes even more and more closer to you, it is a young man, a dark elf, with dark hair, and he has a brimming smile on his face.
Quick question. Something I probably should have asked. Is Daedalus a human?
He is a human.
Question answered.
But he done did this something.
Daedalus stands up and says nothing. He just, gestures and then looks confused and then looks behind and then looks back at you guys and then looks back.
It's not who he was expecting. Or he's changed.
Love child.
The person has a beautiful red gold phoenix on their left shoulder. And they're actually are holding their arm aloft so that the phoenix can sidle left and right, because the phoenix seems agitated as it's looking on deliberately and distinctly at one particular person. The person themselves looks at each of you, but only the four of you. Doesn't look at Daedalus, doesn't look at Undyne, doesn't look at who's the last person? Who's Hamber, that's right, whatever, stupid person. Doesn't look at them. Just looks at the four of you and really soaks you guys in. Really absorbs the visage of your faces, of your outfits, of any injuries.
Who's the Phoenix looking at? You said the Phoenix was looking at someone in particular.
Give me a cunning check.
May we?
Yes.
Maybe.
9.
Also 9.
20. 11.
Pyra, you notice because you take a natural love of the phoenix being a bird of fire. Being a bird of fire, you notice jealously that it's not looking at me. The phoenix is looking at Daedalus.
Oh, fuck.
And so the person still
Fox.
looking at all of you eventually takes notice of the bird being so uncomfortable on his arm. He's like, go to him. And the phoenix opens wing and takes flight and goes straight to Daedalus' shoulder and wraps its long tail around him, and its wings try to do the best approximation of a hug around Daedalus' head.
Were those the wings that we saw the dude wearing? The dude had wings?
It looked like he had
Looked like he
wings.
had wings, but it was really the Phoenix wings.
Optical illusion.
Got it. So he doesn't have wings.
As this person becomes fully out of the doorway, the light shuts off, or starts to not you're gone, but more diminishes over time, and behind him is this endless dark hallway, this continuation into nothing.
I was gonna make a joke, but I'm being a good boy.
Okay. He says, "It is so great to see you again."
Okay.
Honey,
Mm-hmm.
I have been thinking about this for so long, and like been working and paying attention for so long that I knew that you wouldn't. I knew that you wouldn't know me, but now we're suddenly at the moment, and you don't. I know you don't know me. I'm Septimus.
God fucking damn it. Sorry.
Oh, lucky sevens.
You were hired to protect me. Back in Narn.
Oh, yeah. Oh. Yeah, remember that? God, I'm old.
I was waiting for it to actually be real, but it's really real.
Yep. So tell me, how did you feel when Jeff's like, hey, if it's Septimus, I'm gonna flip the table?
I have yet to see the table get flipped.
Well,
Please don't, I'm on the other side.
if the recording equipment wasn't on the table, I would have.
Right.
And if it was my table.
I have questions.
I will answer all of them after I have said my piece. Because chances are I'll probably answer them.
You must be quiet.
Does the Jarl know?
No. My uncle does not know.
My question was gonna be, what the fuck?
Alright. We all met in Narn. You were hired to keep me safe so that I could go to the star chasing ceremony and have my chance to get to the star first and make my wish.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We succeeded.
What?
Yeah.
We got there first. We had an argument on the way there. I would like to say we became friends, but it's kind of hard to tell now because none of you remember who the fuck I am. But we got into an argument, and you were all very pious and very devoted to your given gods: Poseidon, Nike, Artemis, Poseidon, Hephaestus, Athena.
Why'd you say Poseidon twice?
Because I love Poseidon so much. That's not Septimus, that's Tommy. And you got into an argument with me because I started to voice a possible thought that the gods were unnecessary, and you all ardently disagreed. When we got to the star, I wished for the ability to kill them.
Oh.
And at this point, Hammer will say, no. That was, we got to the star first. Our associate, who's no longer an associate, wished for the power to kill gods. And now he is out there capable of doing so. And Septimus will put up like a consoling hand, and he's like, I promise that, let me explain. And then I will answer any question, okay?
Okay.
When I made the wish, I believed that they would grant me some sort of weapon, some sort of sword, or whatever. But no, the star, that glowing little girl, when she burst apart, I was suddenly able to alter the memories of living creatures.
Ooh.
And I was also able to magically sense the abilities and presences of different gods, demigods, minor gods, anything on that hue of magic, any of that. He's trying to avoid saying wavelength because wavelength doesn't exist in Greco-Roman times. Anyway, but that realm of magical energy.
The school of magical
And
energy.
so I knew that the gods suddenly knew what I had done, and they were coming to kill me because I was suddenly a threat to them. I knew this, and I knew then, as I was looking at all four of you, that I had doomed you to die with me. Because they would, knowing their sense of justice, they would not hesitate to kill you by association with me. I told you, Agate, what I had done, and what it meant for the livelihood of all of you. And you grabbed me and ran me back to Redstone. And before I... We weren't the only ones in the clearing. The Enclavers got there second. It was a close second. And Undyne, Hammer, and 3 other men, anyway, they saw what I had done. And as we were running off, me and Agate, I wiped the memory of all of you. That way, if the gods arrived after I had left, they would judge you innocent and keep you alive. But that also meant that I would wipe any memory of any time that we had spent together since Narn. And I watched you guys stumble around the clearing, not knowing which way was up, not knowing what had happened or how you got there. And he'll look at Daedalus and quote, "The mind of the subject will desperately try to create memories where none previously existed." Daedalus said it best, and that's exactly what was happening to all four of you. You were wandering around trying to understand how you had gotten to that clearing. And I still don't know how you justified it, but regardless, you're here now. And Agate, you got me all the way to the walls of Redstone before they came. And I wiped your memory too. Find out later that one of the guards saw you with me, and suddenly I was gone, and they threw you in jail with them because they were trying to find me. The gods transported me to the in-between to keep me locked up and out of the way. Despite me being a threat to them, they also were morbidly curious about my abilities. It was in there that I met Icarus. Icarus taught me about the gods' tendencies, their stories, even their animal avatars, because he had studied them with his father while he was out here in our mortal world. And upon hearing their animal avatars, I playfully chose the Phoenix as my avatar. I'm not a god, but it was just for fun. We were boys in the in-between. Icarus was the best companion that I could have had in there. Out of boredom and curious ambition, I tried to see what I could do with my newfound power. So I reached out beyond the veil of the in-between, because you see the in-between is this realm between ours and Hades. It touches everything and nothing. And through the veil, I was able to eventually, slowly, feel the minds of those I had been connected with before, including the four of you. Minds of ones I had trusted and who had trusted me. My uncle, eventually those who had been present at the star ceremony, including Undyne, including Hammer, including the demigod who has the weird thing on his face that looks sort of like an owl, I believe, including the man that you killed in the Temple of Janus. I had touched all of their minds, and also the King of Redstone. Eventually I learned that there was more that I could influence. I learned that my magical energy now went beyond immortals. Demigods, you see, have a different intensity of energy, a different flow, or a glow. And I was able to find demigods all over Elysium and influence them. And I realized if I could do that, I could potentially finish what I had tried to start. Icarus taught me about something that his father had discovered in the labyrinth. He found a bright green thing that he called a soul. Daedalus was able to deduce exactly what it was, and he created a secret expedition to try to find more. Hera... Oh. He's already told you this. I'll skip that. He's already told you this. Icarus did not know everything about the souls that his father did, but he was able to tell me enough to describe them. So I knew two things. One, that the souls would likely free Icarus and myself from the in-between. And two, the souls would be likely able to amplify the natural powers within a mortal to an almost godlike level. And you saw evidence of this in that one idiot elf that wore the crown of Janus. But I digress. Now, with the knowledge of the souls and the fact that I could reach out beyond the veil of the in-between, I knew I stood a chance to fix our situation. I reached out to find the four of you, and pretty quickly I found you in Redstone, standing in front of the king of Redstone. And then you were quickly out of the city, and you were at a fork in the road, and Daenerys Targaryen was with you. And you were trying to find your way to Narn, back to my home, and Angoramir, you asked her, which way should we go? Even though you logically knew the right path was the correct one. And out of sentiment, you asked her the unnecessary question. And I took my chance, and I guided her to say left. Because I knew if you went left, you would find the first soul. The first of many that you would find that would guide you eventually to these doors to free me.
Were the souls expended when the doors blew open?
I'll get there in a minute.
Okay.
From then on, I was able to keep an eye on you and try to guide you to additional souls when I could. I was able to possess the minds of animals that the Olympians had marked as their animal avatars. I believe you began to take notice of this. There was a hawk that Pyra burned outside of Redstone. There was an eagle on top of your ship when you left Narn. There was a leopard inside the labyrinth. There was the horse outside of Olympia. I was trying to keep an eye on you, and I have been for the last several weeks. I admit I may have gotten a bit overzealous at times. My uncle often told me, continues to tell me maybe, that I need to speak with more humility and less arrogance. He said that I often use the phrase, "Does that make sense?" as a result, and many of those I was able to guide you through ended up using that statement as they were being manipulated by me. These included the King of Redstone, Undyne, Uldred, Hammer, Daenerys, and even Daedalus. But again, I digress. I'm sure right about now you're all wondering the same thing. Why is it that I was guiding you so ardently from soul to soul? And so far I've only discussed how it could free me, and Icarus. After that argument between us, we disagreed about the credibility and the kindness of the Olympians, and you four had allegiances that you were hesitant to break on for any reason. The gathering of the souls served two purposes beyond freeing me and Icarus. One was to show you directly the villainy and the cruelty at the hands of the gods and those who follow them and act in their name. The Acolytes of Hecate, the Reapers for Hades, the King of Olympia himself, and his hatred for centaurs. I wanted you to get out of the pious bubbles you had been born into and see the world from the other side. So when the time came, you could make an informed choice on whether or not the world would be better without them. And he stopped speaking.
This is a lot.
It is a lot. But I have been building up to this for 16 sessions.
The long game.
Was he the one that did the antler shaving?
Yes.
Who's your uncle?
The current Jarl of Narn. Monkey's uncle.
Why were you so happy to be freed from a place that would be safe from all the other gods?
Because I need to tear them down.
Don't you think that you're a target right now by leaving the...
The beautiful thing about the labyrinth is that it is layered in obsidian. They can't see us.
So
that's also why Daedalus is hidden here.
You plan to execute your attack on the gods from the labyrinth then?
Not necessarily. I need the souls in order to do it. The souls will be able to amplify my ability to alter memory, so that I can alter the memories of everyone in Elysium. And without them remembering, they will come down.
Don't you think that by doing all of this, you're acting as a god?
Hey.
I suspected this argument. And I wish that I could show you the different things that I could see and feel about the different energy levels, different power levels of different people. And the gods are something that are all far away from any mortal creature. They are celestial, they're cosmic. And us, by comparison, are more like ants. With me and with, I'll say, demigods, it's closer to a lion in the world of ants and celestial beings.
I feel as if you've been brainwashed by your newfound power. And you're trying to find reasons to defend you using the power that you have.
I've been having this goal for a very long time, even before I received this type of power. I've always had this goal, and it is not without good reason. And you have all seen ample evidence that they are poisonous to Elysium and possibly the world if a war ever broke out.
But this goes beyond just your power. just snuffing out a god. You're talking about a crime you've already committed on us and others in Elysium. Wiping memories?
You raped our minds. You claim friendship. I don't know you. You saw to that by your own words. How dare you alter what we perceive to be real for your own ends? You're not like the gods you claim to aid. You are worse than them.
So you still disagree?
A little manipulative, too.
You have no right to claim friendship. I don't care about the gods anymore. I don't even know what argument I had because you erased it from my mind.
I could do it again.
I don't care about the gods. All I know right now in this moment is I hate you.
Why do you want the soul stones?
They will amplify the power that was given to me by the star so that I can wipe the memory of everyone across this country.
So these soul stones are a fuel of sorts?
Yes.
So the more gods that fall from people losing faith, and the more gods that fall from you slaying them, the more powerful
I
you
do not
become.
slay them. I have not. Yet.
But figuratively speaking, when a god falls, you will have yet more fuel and will become more powerful.
Okay, I see your hesitation now. You're missing a piece of information I really should have shared.
Please do.
I share their power essence now. And through the wiping of them, I'm leaving too. Because without godly energy to sustain, the stars will fall.
Mm-hmm.
And with that energy no longer holding this world in that sort of... It's difficult to describe, and I'm missing the words. Essentially speaking, when the gods fade, so will I. So will anyone touched, I believe, by them in a deep, intimate, cosmic way.
With the exception of the soul stones.
I'm not sure what will happen to the soul stones.
The soul stones can just be transported to another, audacious vessel such as yourself to power themselves to become another god.
Wouldn't that be better than having 12 Olympians over our heads deciding everything about our lives?
It's better than having one Olympian over our heads.
I was the arrogant one. My gods. One person with absolute power is somehow better than 12 petulant, powerful children.
Do you think that I'm adopting their throne?
Not today.
I think you're opening the door for something worse in your ignorance.
What could be worse?
We don't know. The gods are powerful, yes. They exist on a plane above our own. This is all true. Condense the power of all the Olympians into potentially one person, you're talking about omnipotence. Nobody knows what that is. It doesn't exist now, but I can only imagine what it could lead to. And when did you decide that you were the one who knew what was best? You've had this goal since before the star, yes?
Yes.
Where did this come from? What horrible reasoning do you have?
I argue that it's horrible reasoning because you've seen the evidence of their work through your own
I've
practiced
seen
lives.
horrible things from the gods. Yes.
I've seen horrible
His
things
own
from
god
humans.
did something horrible to mine. That is the origin of my race. This is undeniable. Humanity has done just as awful of things on smaller scale because they lack the power. And we will be spreading power across all the land. This will not erase evil. This will just alter it slightly on the same scale.
There are very few people who are aware of the abilities and even the existence of the soul stones.
You think they won't figure it out? We did.
You are both, not both, you are all brilliant people who were guided to the answer of what souls were.
Others will figure it out. Others will guide others. We are not breaking a power chain. We are perpetuating a cycle.
How do people get their memories back?
Do you want them back?
Yes.
Yeah.
They are ours.
Also, everyone in Elysium should have them.
Before you even continue, he's like, okay. And he waves, and you guys are awash with hard facts.
Oh, wait, sorry, they didn't have that side of
Memories.
the table, so...
You remember exactly the day that the four of you truly met.
Sorry.
Agate, you remember that rush and panic of literally running from cosmic beings trying to find this boy because you were paid to do so. You remember trying to get this job because you were trying to find any lead at all, any information at all to find more of your kind and your home. You just wanted money.
Yeah.
You wanted money. You wanted to prove that you could be independent and away from your mom.
Oh.
And all of you took the job knowing that you'd be protecting a prince and did it anyway. Also probably selfishly thinking here or there, what if I got to the star first and I could wish for blah. And you remember all four of you meeting, and now you compare that to the memory which is session 1 of this campaign, and you realize now that the what you were just given is so much more real and logical than anything that happened during that session. The ice creature that you guys fought in those caves, completely fake. Didn't happen.
What?
None of it did.
But
In the very first
The
damage.
very first session, you weren't there.
Oh.
But
Oh,
everything
listen.
that happened, you guys suddenly like waiting for each other and being frustrated, like, can we just go? Come on. Like, oh, let's go to the mines or blah, blah, blah. None of that happened. You were all justifying how you got to that clearing that night.
So I wasn't actually annoying.
Oh,
No, you're still annoying.
Sorry,
But now
Bucko.
it's good-natured.
You know,
I
what
wasn't
did
the
last time
condescending
someone
bit-
insulted me.
Aw. Yeah.
So meta.
I just like...
As you guys are like awash with all these memories, and if you're like kind of like catching yourself on the wall, like really discombobulated by these memories, you're kind of turning your back on him a little bit, trying to like re-find your ground. You will see Undyne and Hammer also in the same experience, like remembering where they were and realizing they didn't get there first. Hammer wasn't interrupted in her wish. She never got one.
Oh, it's fucked up.
Mm-hmm. What's Daedalus doing?
Daedalus is starting to understand that the Phoenix is not a Phoenix.
It's Icarus.
Well, I hope so.
I guess.
Mine too.
Okay, thank you.
As you look up at him, he is like trying to... He's doing like this side, like spinning hand motion a little bit, like trying to pull something up a little bit. You can tell that he's like casting a spell or like something. You're not quite sure.
Are you in the process of returning all the memories to that who inhabit Elysium?
No,
Why the fuck not?
because I haven't taken memories from everybody in Elysium.
Well, those that you have taken memories from, did you also return them during your moment where you gave the memories back to us?
No. And as he's finishing his little spell, he's regathering his hands back in front of him, palms up. 5 souls appear in his hand. And he'll look up, like shake his head begrudgingly, and then like cradle them as he walks down these little awkward natural steps that came out of the rubble from the doors. And he'll walk up to each of you and say, "You seriously don't agree with me?" And he'll like hand over the souls back to you. He'll hand you the blue one. He'll hand you the red one.
Thank you.
He'll hand you whatever.
Purple. No. No.
White. And then he'll hold the green, and he'll hold it out to Daedalus, who's not paying attention. So Undyne's like, thank you. And he's like, so this is where this ends. You want them to rule over us indefinitely, maybe forever, and continue to have innocent people manipulated and killed for their amusement. I'm not killing mortal lives. I'm not killing innocent people. I'm not even killing them. I'm wiping them as if they were never there. They were not going to be missed.
I
wish I could
don't
remember.
understand.
Wish I could remember the speech that Ben Affleck gives Matt Damon in Dogma, where he's talking about being the fucking Morning Star. No, this is actually really relevant.
Yeah.
Where he's basically saying like, you're talking about war on God. Well, fuck that. Yeah, that's great. That's great.
Yeah,
scene.
pretty much.
Anyway, it's a parking garage monologue. It's great.
I might look that up after this.
Okay.
Sick name, man.
Yeah.
It's my favorite
You
name of
got
his.
something, Jeff? You can take point of this one.
So,
Couple things.
first, I'm not really okay with the gods killing innocents for their amusement. But I'm not okay with a potentially future omnipotent person deleting those who the people of Elysium have worshipped their entire lives because they feel the audacity to do so themselves. You're not even assuming the throne.
No.
You don't even need a throne because of the type of power you bring to the table. It's almost as if their structure of power doesn't even matter or exist to you because you can just bypass it and say, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. And I'm not okay with that, man.
Dilly.
In answer to your question, I dare say, after our events, I am opposed to the gods. But I will not join you on your half-baked crusade. You have gone about this all wrong. Your reasons may be valid. Your way of getting them are as barbarous as anything I have ever encountered in my life.
Then how would you have rathered that I get the ability to end?
If I had the fucking answer, I would be doing it myself. But it doesn't mean I lack the capability to see what is wrong with it is in front of my face.
We joined the Enclave not necessarily to start a war with the gods, but rather to stand up for them so that we can exist with a little bit more distance.
Equality.
And equality, per se.
Then what if I made it so that the gods forgot they were gods?
Whoa.
Still, yeah, you're talking about memory wipey,
It's the
magical
power that I
stuff.
possess.
It's the power you asked for. It
Yeah,
doesn't
it's
legitimize
the-
it.
Yeah, it's the...
Regardless, it is the power that is right here, right now, that exists.
Easy way is not the right way.
To be honest, I wish it didn't exist.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna wish for.
Because, honestly, that power frightens me more
Than the gods.
than all 12 gods combined.
I need to find another way.
Quite agree.
I am asking you to join us in the Enclave. Forget your power.
Never touch it again.
I know that it'll be stored somewhere deep within you, and it won't ever be truly forgotten because it'll always be there. I don't have the power to remove your power. I don't even believe that you have the power to remove your power.
Unless he
It'll
forgets
always
he
be
has
there.
it.
Do you know any forgetting spells?
Somebody does.
Yeah.
That sounds like an Undyne line, just like, unless you forgot you had it. True. Do you have a forget-me-not spell? Undyne, we've been talking this... Have you even been listening? I've been picking my nose.
There's one, it's like really far up there. I gotta get it.
Let me make you forget about it. There.
That's hot.
Digging for nose gold.
Maybe,
Mining for nose gold. Fucked it up.
maybe you could remove your power if you never had any more fuel. Because you needed it, right? You need the stones.
No, I need the stones in order to amplify what already exists.
You don't necessarily need the amplification.
He needs it if he wants to get to everyone.
Because I was going to say, what if there weren't stones, and what if everyone believed in the current gods long enough to where none of them fell anymore?
He still has the... Well, then he won't have the power to affect everyone. But he still has the power. Doesn't have a stone right now, still has the capability.
Hmm.
Will you consent to giving up your power and joining us to find a better way?
No, but I will help you find another way.
Okay.
After which...
It will really depend on the other way.
Alright then.
Oh, you're wanting to guide us.
I'm not guiding you anywhere. I've already tried to guide you to the correct answer, and you're saying no. So,
So what do you mean by what you said earlier?
If you come up with another idea, okay, let's see the credibility of that idea. But I'm not promising anything because I am convinced that this is the correct thing to do. It is the only way to end a tyrannical rule of monsters that have ruled over us for so long without there being a single true mortal death. It is the goal of the Enclave. They didn't want war. Uldra didn't want anyone to die. Hammer was getting tired of fighting. Look at her now. She doesn't even want to do this anymore. Hammer will say, to credit of her character that I've written, she will say, nor do I want Apollo to die.
I don't want my goddess to die either.
So I can make them forget about their origin. It's not an easy or a soft sell. I understand that I've been guiding you and manipulating your circumstances for weeks, months, I even forget how long. And I thought there was a chance that all of you might hate me for doing so. But I will tell you the truth. Daenerys was only touched that one time. Everything else was her. I may have guided you from soul to soul, but that was only to free an innocent boy who unfortunately is in that current situation. But
I snap.
Yeah.
oh,
How do I even know that this is true?
We can trust nothing you
You've-
say or do.
You've manipulated. You've been manipulating. You have the power to manipulate furthermore. I don't even believe this damn hallway exists. I don't believe that you exist. I don't believe that Phoenix is fucking real. And you're using Daenerys to play on my emotion, manipulating me even more? Who?
Oh, jeez.
I'm examining Septimus very closely right now.
Okay.
Physically.
okay.
I'm going to mental prowess to the party,
Clothes.
in particular in Gorimir.
Armor, weapon.
No armor, cloth clothes. He looks quite clean, surprisingly so, even though he's apparently been in there for weeks, but he's looked the same ever since he came out.
Can I mental you? Let's fight him.
He's wearing the same garb. Wearing the same garb as he was when you guys started the star chasing ceremony. There is a glow about him that's not like an actual, like, there's a flashlight under him or anything like that. It's more like there is something under his flesh that's just ever so slightly starry. Okay? He's barely moved from his position the whole time. But, in argument of any sort of observation of truth or not, when he told the Phoenix to go, and it landed, you saw a physical weight laid way down at Daedalus's shoulder, and he is currently there still, like, coaxing and crooning to the Phoenix.
Yeah, but we also saw an entire ice creature that fought us and hurt us. So, I don't trust that. I would like to...
Daedalus, is there anything in your shop that might...
I sell potions.
Yeah. Is there anything in your shop that...
like that one random NPC.
In your lab that might...
Any Veritaserum?
No. No, is there anything in your in your lab that might cure me of my exhaustion currently? I feel very overwhelmed right now, and I need to be able to have a little bit more magical capabilities. I need to be able to cope with everything I'm being presented
Don't even
with
talk
right
in the
now.
morning till I've had my hot brown potion.
Yeah, thank you. Such a good show.
He is so distracted by the Phoenix that he's like petting its back as he's like sort of listening to you, and he's like, yes.
I don't have time to sleep.
And so he's turning his back to you and going back into his quarters. And he comes back and he has like a handful of, like a small crate, I'll say, of like small potions. And he's just like...
I take them very thankfully.
Oh, yeah.
Septimus says, arguably, I could have just made you forget that you were even hurt.
If you offer anything like that one more time, this is not going to go well.
You are seeing all the negatives of the abilities that I have. There are positives to this.
That in no way outweigh the negatives.
That's not your mom. Take that.
What did you say?
That isn't your mom. It never was.
Oh.
You were the most hesitant to go. I made you think it. Go ahead and attack me.
Okay, the
I don't
MP.
But,
The MP is filling up currently, correct?
Yeah, right?
but, she is currently alive.
Who's in my bag?
Truthfully, I don't know.
Could have been with my parents. They killed each other having sex.
Yeah, it's not your parents.
Which I've said before.
This was Tommy, by the way. Yeah.
Can I be popping one of those potions right now, or is that too meta? What is these potions, Tommy?
Yeah, me too.
What is these potions?
What these potions?
Are you drinking too?
Oh, sure.
Trying
You guys are like
that.
drinking.
Fuck
you.
Shots.
You guys all take MP, HP. You're up to full on everything.
Oh man.
Grazie. Cool. Then once I do that, I'm gonna like take one of the potions and pop it and drink it like I am taking a shot of like bracing alcohol. And then I'm gonna reach into the bag and using mental prowess tell everyone except this fucker to close their eyes, and I'm gonna pull the Medusa head out
Oh.
and aim it right at him.
I'm
Cool.
okay.
I'm okay with that.
And I will step into his face, so we're like, Jeff, forgive me. Right like that.
Yeah.
But I'm closing my eyes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I close my eyes.
Go ahead. D20.
If it does it again, I'm gonna be so happy, but it's probably not going to. Let's see what we get. 1! Fuck! What's the other dice gonna do? It's not gonna count, but...
The Gorgon had Gorgons
Nah, it was
itself.
shit too.
It reduces itself.
I'm still holding on to the redstone, correct?
You're still holding on to the redstone. He grabs the head before it can open its eyes to look at him, and crushes its skull. And it drops. And he looks at you and says, I can make you remember that it was your mom. So that way, I just crushed your mommy's skull.
Mental prowess to everybody in the party. Kill him.
It's clobber time!
You're doing nothing to endear us to you.
I'm letting you know.
I hate this
I'm
guy.
letting you know via mental prowess right now. Sorry.
Oh, shit.
All destroyed afterward.
You know what? You've more than earned her trust.
And as you put the red original soul stone into the cavity in your breastplate,
It's a risk I'm willing to take.
you look at him with a rush of like, I hope this works, I hope I maintain myself, and you wait for the onslaught of power, and nothing happens.
That's cool.
Magikarp!
Because
Splash.
as you look up,
Yeah.
he's holding all 5 of them.
Oh fuck,
And he's like,
Thanos.
do you really think I really would have handed them back to you?
Magic missile.
He's gone.
No, for the love of God, I wanted to kick
I'm
his-
just going to detonate and just send so many missiles into the walls all around.
Now friendly fire activates. Roll damage.
I said the walls!
I have to use the bathroom.
In the hallway?
No, Jenny does, not Agate.
Agate's just like, well, that was really fun.
I gotta pee.
Oh look, he's right there. Right.
Oh yeah, by the way, that was the Thanos theme.
Yeah. That sounds familiar.
Oh my god. So, honest question.
Yeah.
What would have happened if I had a nat wand?
It still would have probably ended up the same way because you would have.
There's no way you would have one shot.
And he probably would have closed his eyes, or I would have had him teleport early.
That's fair.
And you
Would have been
guys would
so
you guys
much more
would have-
satisfying to get him to just fuck off like that.
You guys would have looked down and seen that you were never handed the souls at all.
No.
Phoenix stays.
Cool. Just one good thing happened from this interaction.
Yeah.
Great, and now we can never trust any of the memories of our characters pretty much ever again.
Daedalus. Do you know who the Phoenix is? Or is it just a Phoenix?
It's my son.
Can I mental prowess the
He
Phoenix?
says it out loud.
What?
He says it out loud.
Okay.
So was that bullshit too?
He says through a stream of tears, Phoenix tears have healing properties.
Okay, that's fair.
Hello guys and welcome to Harry Potter, Chamber of Secrets.
Apparently this is Tommy's new Harry Potter ASMR. The campaign will now be irrevocably replaced with us just muttering about Horcruxes.
You guys forget everything about the last 16 sessions and only think you're in Hogwarts. Congratulations.
Because Tommy's fucking with people's memories.
And this is the inner thoughts of Angoromir, and I was legitimately thinking about killing the Phoenix because it might have eyes on us, and Septimus could be watching.
Oh dear God, but Daedalus can talk now.
Yeah, but Daedalus can talk now, which
And
changes everything. Oh boy.
That is pretty cool. I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I still don't trust this fucking Phoenix.
So, funny story. So
I really don't want to, but I might.
I play Warhammer with a buddy of mine online, and totally forgot that there was a mechanic where you can rename like individual, like not even just like the lords of your army, like individual units. So we were playing a co-op high elf campaign, and one of the units you can get is 2 different kinds of phoenixes. So we were like, what should we name the phoenix? And Sandus just goes on there and names it Bernie Sanders, but spelled B-U-R-N-I-E. And I had a giant eagle in mind, so not a phoenix, just a really big bird, so I named him Joe Burden. And it was pretty much the best thing that happened in that whole campaign.
What was it?
Oh,
Catch me up, catch me up.
we named birds after political puns in a different thing.
Also,
like what?
the Icarus Phoenix cured Daedalus of his inability to speak.
Yep, so now he can talk like a real... I'm a real boy!
Is he really a phoenix? Because that's beautiful.
As far as you can tell, yeah, he cried and then his tears healed his dad of any inability to speak.
I really like
Though
that.
you guys now need to understand and realize that means that the Phoenix tears usurp godly power.
Yeah, that's pretty big.
Yes.
To strip away the curse of the Queen of Olympus.
But nice touch with that.
Thank you.
Okay.
It makes me.
Yeah.
So fucking bad right
I gotta
now.
admit, you guys did the exact opposite of what I expected.
I felt like we were throwing you for a tad bit of a loop.
Yeah, but it's okay. Like
That was one of the best D&D moments I've had in a long freaking time.
Agate's a loose cannon, so it
Oh.
could have gone either way.
I literally almost went off the deep end to take godly power, which I'm against.
Yeah, right?
Ira, I'm going to admit to you one thing that I really hoped that I would hear you say after all the monologues and the arguments and blah 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 blah. Like, why can't you just agree with me? And I thought you would blah blah blah. I was hoping to look over at you as like, okay, your turn to talk now, and you'd be all like, no.
Just
simple.
Just no.
No.
The curse has passed to Pyra.
Wait, that happened.
So many
That totally
minutes of
happened.
talking, and you're just like,
No.
She does hate
You're not really for me.
monologues.
you're not really for me.
So,
Not really my type.
All right, guys, what are we doing?
Monologues.
Oh yeah, experience. Take 1,000 experience.
Yeah, dude.
ding.
Almost ding.
Almost ding.
Pyra, take 500 more.
Ding.
You didn't even have to fight.
Take 500 extra experience for epic stoicism.
Seriously, Taylor's made me laugh so hard throughout this campaign.
Oh, yeah?
Right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yay. Thank you.
What's the next threshold?
22,000.
Thank you, sir. Damn
Did I
it.
say
Should have just
Pyra
gone
or
with my
Taylor?
gut.
I think I said Taylor.
I think you
You
said
did.
Taylor. I got
Okay, so
oh my god.
So what?
I think we need to try and convince all the different groups
To
to unite
against this
against
fucker.
Septimus.
Yeah.
And we'll be like the Grey Wardens of Elysium.
We are
Yeah.
back into the superhero campaign. We're just like, Capital, Separatist, Nexus. Let's have a meeting and talk it out, guys.
Yeah, right.
Because there's Legion out there. He's a bad guy.
And I feel like the person to lead the negotiation should be Pyra.
that. We just burned everything to the ground.
If there's nothing left, he can't ruin anything.
You see, there's this one guy in Narn that I thought was like really blue-balled, and he was because I left him blue-balled, and I thought that he knew who I was, and he turned out not to, and then she helped me, and then it's like turns into Sokka.
Alright, guys. It's the rare moment where I'm going to pray to Poseidon if I
Oh
can.
my God.
Oh my god.
Are
Oh
we
my
reconnecting to the
God.
gods?
I honestly considered it if it meant shutting up this fucker.
Hello there, it's me again. I know it's been a while.
If I can in the labyrinth. I don't even know.
You can try.
But
I
will
will
try.
always say you can try.
I will try. And this is purely for just making sure I get the word out before I forget, or rather someone takes control of my mind. I'm literally going to say, Poseidon, you probably already know, but just in case you don't, there is a dark elf by the name of Septimus with potentially omnipotent power. 18.
Damn.
Was hoping for that nat 20, boy.
Where have you been?
Like a disapproving fucker.
I've been around. I'm currently in a labyrinth of sorts, so I'm a little disconnected.
Oh shit,
But-
did you just send like a fucking beacon to the gods so they can't see into this place? Sorry, meta.
You need to get to Uldred fast, because that's where the rest of the souls are, and that's where he will go.
Thank you very much for your insight, Poseidon. I say we should all get the fuck out. Go see Uldred. Okay, bye.
GTO!
Bye.
And also, you sound like you already knew about this dude. So, yeah, it's great. I shouldn't have assumed that you didn't know. My apologies.
Get above ground.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Right away, sir. What'd you think of me killing King Manos, by the way?
Well done.
That guy was a dick.
Okay, I actually feel really, really good
Yeah,
about
right?
myself right now.
Fuck yeah.
If I get the approval of one of the three main gods.
Zeus
Yes.
was furious.
Hmm?
Zeus was furious. He might kill you.
Thank you for the warning.
Was
Okay,
Uldred might
he
kill me.
would like that guy.
Why would I go see Uldred if Zeus is mad at me?
You must protect the souls.
He was so close to destroying them like a moment ago. The thought crossed my mind.
You must protect them from Septimus, no matter what the cost. If that means destroy them,
Wow.
then do so.
fuck.
Well, I was thinking of the right thing.
Yeah,
because I
you were
almost
kind of
destroyed
barking up the
them.
right tree.
I
when-
wanted to destroy them.
Yeah, the moment he gave it back to me, I almost was just like.
Not gonna
I
lie.
just pictured 4.
Oh, okay.
Punches it, doesn't do anything, and he's like, ah!
He's
Kind of flaps his knuckles.
Okay, well,
Good talk.
I informed the party of the full-on conversation I've had with Poseidon that I've never had with before.
Dear old absentee dad.
Poseidon told us that we should go to Uldred because Zeus is mad at me. I mean, because
Yeah,
I can
that's
see why you're
what
focusing on that one.
we need to get above ground because the souls are a priority that we should definitely destroy.
Amen, brother.
I think I'm getting some of my details confused. Literally, I'm freaking
You
out.
know
I'm
what
forgetting
that
because I'm
was.
17 and I just spoke with a god. So I'm
You're
like,
19.
God,
You're 19.
I'm 17. Oh, I'm 19 now.
You have aged a lot in
I have.
this stuff.
18.
I mean, this
I
is
was
some
thinking.
shit.
I was thinking of my my other palette character I played in a different campaign who was 17.
You weren't
Wow.
thinking of how old
So-
was Izal?
Forget, but he was around the same age.
Yeah.
I actually want to say he was 16. if I'm not mistaken.
Damn.
But yeah, I've been 19 this whole time. Okay, cool.
Hammer will interrupt your reverie about your age and say, "Okay, where do we go? What do we do? What?"
Daedalus, how do we leave the labyrinth?
Where? I can talk.
Focus, please. I know this is a huge momentous occasion for you, and I'm very happy for you, but we're kind of in a rush.
Where are you headed?
Uldred.
Well, I don't think he knows where Uldred is.
Uldred's Island, outside the coast of Olympia, to the south.
Can we use the Icarus wings to get there?
Go out the other. No, that's back in the castle. Don't be a fool. Out the other end of my quarters, you will find another hallway that will lead you pretty much anywhere you want to go. I call it my. I don't actually want to say what I call it, but it's up there.
In this room?
I must know.
It's called Aphrodite's Blessing. You'll see why when you see the door.
I was gonna say, color me intrigued. Can we return here?
If you find another entrance to the labyrinth,
Where are they?
they are everywhere. Look for the deltas.
You should come with us.
We have that string, remember?
I have my son.
That won't lead us to the
With us.
labyrinth, I don't think.
He has his
Maybe.
dad. Now that's an argument. He says, I'll be right behind you, I guess, but I am going to take some moment. We haven't talked in a long time, and I need to learn how to speak bird.
I would almost...
It's at this point that you really start to understand that Daedalus is fucking insane.
I always
I was just about to say, this is one of the weirdest moments I've had as a player ever.
You guys
to
meet
go
the,
from that epic thing to talking to a god to...
you guys meet the Thanos of Greco-Roman. You're just like, this guy might be worse than the gods.
Here we see the collector.
The DM is talking bird.
He's gonna go be a farmer now.
Just Trevor meta conversation. I say we use the labyrinth as home base. Potentially. Anyway.
You could say that out loud. Why would
Yeah, right.
Badass.
Because you're saying it in front of the maker of the labyrinth, like, let's use this as our home. He's like, but I live here.
It has my comforts.
Thank the maker. Oh.
That's 2 Dragon Age references now.
Yeah, right?
Yay.
Do you guys head in the direction that he gestures, or do you want to do
Yes.
anything in here before you leave? Would you like to see the game?
I
What
really would
happens-
not like to lollygag because Poseidon said that we need to get there immediately.
What happened with Medusa? Is it Dunzo?
It's done, though.
That's correct.
It is not Medusa. You will never know who it was.
God damn it.
But if you were to believe him, it was never your mom.
I don't believe a fucking word.
I'm really glad it's not your mom, man.
Yeah, well, I mean, we don't know that.
I think I'm gonna listen. I promise. But I think it's hilarious how he dropped a couple of statements that basically should have been like relieving. Like, I didn't change what Daenerys said to you. Your mom isn't dead. They're comforting, like, oh, thank God things. But my male friends are just so like, but you manipulated me from the start.
Gaslighting is abusive!
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a horrible
It's your
thing
fault.
to do!
It's your fault. I'm even doubting.
This is not even okay.
Pyra, what's up?
Can I wander up to Daedalus and Icarus and just be like, before we go, can I
Can I pet the
potentially...
bird?
I want to pet the bird, but can I also have a feather?
Oh, a feather.
You already have one.
But I want one from him.
You already have one.
Oh,
The
That's
feather
where
in
the
your
phoenix
inventory
feathers
My
came
green
from.
feather?
is from him.
Oh, He's great.
Is he multicolored plumage?
When he opens his wings, you will see that there is multicolored rows inside of his wing.
He's so
Is
pretty.
mine one too?
But Icarus, as soon as you're talking about him, he will kind of bend his head towards you, deliberately listening like a human. So it's not like a parrot where it's like,
She wants a wing.
feather, whatever. Like, you know. Parrots are fucking weird. So no, he's not a parrot. He's a very intelligent bird human. Bird human.
Thank you.
So if you're asking for another feather, he will like
Tasty.
and open his left wing again,
Yes.
and you can choose a color, and he's just like,
I'm absolutely gonna take a red one.
as you pluck, he's like,
Thank you for your sacrifice.
Cast flash. I'm just kidding.
Is that where my feather
do you
came from?
do you flash shield the bird?
I don't think he needs it, to be perfectly honest. I
Excuse
don't
me.
think he can handle it.
Icarus, could you cry on me so that the curse of me not sleeping with a woman can go away, please?
Could you cry on me and cure my virginity?
As you
Can
say
you take
this,
my virginity with Phoenix tears?
Undyne says, "I'll take one for the team for you, and I'll do you later, okay?" And she elbows your butt.
Careful.
Says, we should go.
In mythology.
Undyne's really making me question things.
Her sexuality and yours.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like,
Everyone, give me a
If I-
d20 check, please.
if I did Undyne, I'd be still straight. But
Is that where my
she's
feather
like
came
a wretched
from?
fish
Yes,
person.
all of your
That's-
guys' feathers came from him.
11.
9.
You also remember from your memories of him that Icarus, that those feathers did not exist before the events of the star chasing ceremonies. They
Somehow
just
they made their way to
manifested
us.
in your bags.
So
So,
like look at it and be like, sometime we need to talk about what you can actually do, but right now we gotta go.
I think it's because of the in-between. The in-between touches everything but nothing, and that it touches everything. It was just sort of what I put in there.
But I mean, like, what kind of powers does he have to A, strip the curse of a goddess, and B, somehow go from this realm that cannot be exited from and still enforce a smaller part of his will through it? That's fucking badass.
Ooh, also, I wanted to ask Septimus before he disappeared. I want to ask Septimus if he or someone else was the one who dropped the key in our cell.
that's.
Oh, yeah.
I'm pretty sure he was controlling me and made me do that. I know I said that it wasn't me, and I thought that it wasn't, but it turns out he may have.
Oh, do you have memory of that now?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, thank you. Even though it really...
Also, I'm having realizations that I've had several blackouts. What have I said?
You said you'd fuck a centaur.
I agree to that, yeah.
Okay, okay.
Um,
I didn't know if that was one of them.
did we go down to hell?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
thank
that
God.
happened.
Not really, but like, woof.
Yeah.
Okay.
Drinks and we'll talk about it later?
Yeah,
Yeah.
You said some pretty disturbing things about your past as well.
that is all fact.
Okay.
My mom is super dead. Oh, Mom.
That's such an Undyne thing to say. Super dead.
Not like kinda dead, like really
All
mega
the way.
dead.
Unbelievably dead.
Wait a minute. Was that my mom?
I'm like kicking dirt over it.
Like
Like,
the
no,
white towel again and cover it?
no.
Seriously.
Okay,
my
Aldred.
God.
Oh, right. Hammer's like already at the other door leading to this. She's like,
Yeah. Let's go.
fuck. So I need an approval. Yes, you are leading
Yes.
the labyrinth. Okay.
Unless
As
there's
you-
more potions left in the box.
No, the box is burnt through, but you guys are at full HP and MP.
Awesome. Love
I was
it.
gonna say the crate of potions was obviously a DM like.
Fine, yes, you can take this one.
Yes.
I also
yes,
realized
level.
you guys hadn't rested for a long ass time.
Yeah.
Long time. So yes, you guys made it this far into my game without shopping again. By the way, Daedalus says, "Come back anytime. I'm going to be opening a shop soon."
What?
Ooh,
So
bring
wait,
your
he's
son.
Brock and the new god of war game?
You guys make it up these stairs, down a small corridor, and then suddenly you're looking at two giant stone boobs. And then between them, in the cleavage, is a opening like the opening.
Her blessing.
The opening like there was behind the wings, and you know that if you step through, you will re-emerge into the real world.
Glad
my
nobody
kind of
follows
door.
her. I'm glad no one follows her, you know? That'd be a little awkward.
Do any of you motorboat before you? Okay,
I think us
We
going
slap
through
her.
her
I
bus
jump up and slap him
qualifies.
for good luck.
just shake
I thought
it.
you were tall.
I am tall, but like if it's a
So-
doorway size, I'm only 6'2".
Take it from me.
Oh.
You don't need to jump to hit the doorways.
Alright,
I
sorry.
sometimes have to duck.
Okay, I wouldn't know. I surely wouldn't know. Oh, right, I have just housekeeping question. What is half of strength when strength is an odd number?
Round up or round down?
Round up. In my games, always round up.
Cool.
What's your strength now?
Oh, it's 9, but I have 16 attack points.
Damn.
Attack bonus. This is so exciting.
Attack bonus.
Okay. Yeah, I'll give the titties a tap as I walk through.
Yeah, tit tat, tit for tat.
Tap for tit.
I cut the nipples off.
Oh,
Jesus.
Okay.
Sorry, guys, I'm trying to get up and do ambiance.
It's okay. Really,
I
really
seriously-
good ambiance
I-
with the Septimus thing, by the way.
Thank you. I seriously did not expect it to go that way. I knew there was a chance, but I really thought that me, Tommy / Septimus had guided you thoroughly down this path of like, okay, yeah, okay.
Dude, the only thing that would have made the Thanos theme more appropriate when you were monologuing is if the little brrr, brrr, like happened after he said, I'm Septimus.
Yeah, right.
I didn't want to give away any sort of negativity from him from the word go. I wanted him to present his entire case first, and you guys decide. I agree, therefore he's not a villain, or disagree, therefore he's automatically a villain because we stand against him.
Oh, he's so a villain.
Oh my god. Like, from the instant he started talking, I was like, I don't like this monologue. This is so... I clearly know best, and therefore I decided, and I wished, and I chose for you. And I was like, okay, I don't even care what the fuck his logic is. I want to kill this guy. And then I want to rip off his testicles, shove him down his throat, cast full life on him so he comes back to life with his testicles in his mouth, and then kill him again.
It's a busy day.
Yeah. And yet...
So satisfying.
I don't think
Oh, by the
that
way, I have full life now.
Yeah. Cool. I don't think that he was worth that much of your MP, really.
Resource management Trevor's like, yeah, you're right, but vindictive Trevor's like, nah, fuck that.
He needs to choke and die on his own balls.
Nice.
Oh my god. The world is over. We have
Oh my
sweeping
God.
strikes and full
Full
life
life.
now.
It's just a never-ending cycle of ass whooping.
Yeah. I don't know what I'm getting at. I haven't leveled my character yet.
Tom.
Me neither.
Oh, wait, you already took it.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's okay.
maybe
Yeah,
I
never
should
mind.
get Tom
Sweet.
too.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to charge.
Because they're like some awesome
I don't
late
want
spelling
it.
right now.
I haven't.
So as we went through the bust, hopefully we were thinking of Uldred Island, so we would appear there.
Sure,
You
yes.
did.
Totally.
You did?
You did.
Okay, cool.
You appear inside of a library inside of his mansion town thing that he has.
Right.
And you're instantly hit with the smell of smoke.
Yep. Guy doesn't let much grass grow under his feet, does he?
I think Septimus raised this island.
That's who I'm talking about.
Oh, okay.
You hear the screams of horses. You hear the screams of people, men and women. There's nobody in this library, and you also realize you've never been in here before, so you're not sure how to leave or where this is on the island. But you're aware you're in the right place because you can hear Uldred above ground shouting orders. Get to the ships, get to the boats, get to Olympia.
So much for not killing innocents.
Well, shit.
Who said he's killing innocents? Who said this is Septimus? Maybe this isn't even happening.
Stop gaslighting me.
Yeah. Man, if this
Maybe I'm not even Tommy.
this whole campaign is basically just like
Something underneath my nail.
Right.
yeah. I try to find the fastest route upstairs possible.
You find it easily. There's a door just there to your right, and you're just like, it's open. Okay, thank God. Huh? And you don't see flames on the other side. As you guide your way out to the right, you find a staircase leading up. As you approach the staircase and you go up, you're suddenly above a layer of smoke, and you can suddenly breathe easily. And Undyne's like, hate fire, don't like fried fish. Oh, God. She's part fish.
I'm just like, fish and chips.
Dio, seriously, come on! You guys
Did I
get
just
above
get a
ground.
nickname?
You are outside of a Palladia. There is a courtyard and a fountain, and you recognize it. This is the training area that you guys have been inside of before. And you
Where's
see,
Og?
And you see Uldred and Og guiding people down the hill towards the shipyard like you guys docked at sessions and sessions ago. You don't see dead bodies around. You see a lot of fire. Hammer will then run away from you guys towards Uldred, like kind of skip, jumping, running to like down the hill and slope to him, land next to Uldred and go like, "How can I help?" And Uldred's like, "Jesus Christ, how did you what? Okay, get them out of their homes and get them to the ships." And she's like, "Okay," and Hammer runs off. Doesn't even look back at you guys.
Yeah.
And Undyne's like, "Bye."
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
servants of Apollo, it makes sense.
Yeah. Can we see where, like, is there a certain spot where the fire seems to be most concentrated?
Yes. Through that kind of mountainous terrain that sort of was naturally there, but you know that there is a door in the base of it that led down to that son of Hephaestus.
Yeah.
That his mine.
Are you game for burning some power?
Yeah.
I'll go running for that entrance, and I'm gonna kind of gesture to Pyra, come at me.
Give me a true check.
Add to the flames.
3.
It does not occur to you. As you approach the fire, you are feeling fire that is not from you, therefore you're like, eh. The door is ajar, but you are seeing flames down the path leading into the mine. Trevor is guiding the decisions of Pyra.
Trevor's recommending. That's what. So Dionysia had the thought of the weapon that you have and the spell that comes with it, and how it might do something here.
I don't know how it might do something, but
The diamond dust ability is what she's
I
going
know
to talk
what-
about.
What is it?
Time.
It's a giant AoE ice thing.
Oh.
Useful.
Uh,
I don't know if it's going to work, but I think it might be worth a shot.
that works much better because I was like, I have ice.
Do you guys want some ice? Because I got
The
some
fire turns
ice
blue.
here. Doesn't that mean hotter?
Nothing makes
Stop
sense.
feeding it oxygen!
Yeah, can I pull out my Keone scepter as I run after him?
Oh,
Sure
yeah.
can.
Hell yeah.
I'm gonna try to kiss.
Diamond
Diamond dust.
Diamond dust!
Diamond dust. Diamond dust.
Damn, put some stank on that one.
15.
You cast Diamond Dust.
Okay, what is that?
It catches on the opposite wall of the corridor and freezes the entire hallway shut and closes it off with like
What?
spikes of ice.
Fuck.
You cannot go down.
Well,
And you're like,
can I burn it?
well, I trapped whoever's down there.
Can I melt it?
You may try.
That's some bullshit.
While this is going on, I am heading straight to Uldred, by the way.
Oh, guys. No, you can't freeze it because it's a godly power staff. Also, I'm going to save you time. The ground starts to rumble beneath you in the courtyard, and Uldred has to even like bend down and like catch himself on the ground. And Og falls over on his face. It was very funny. And suddenly the ground has a fissure that opens up near the middle, and a figure comes out, emerges, and then like makes it. But remember that move from the Avatar campaign where you like threw?
I immediately imagined what you're about to describe him doing.
That's
like
exactly
literally,
what you do. Like,
literally when
jump
he
up,
said he
easy
came
step,
out,
and you're walking suddenly. Yeah.
yeah, when he came out,
Oh,
of the
yeah.
ground, I imagined that.
That's basically what happens.
So,
And it's Septimus, and he is holding in his arms the old orc. That's the child of Hephaestus, and
With
he,
all the stones.
and he very lightly. You don't see any stones.
Well,
he
well, I'm
very
assuming he has them.
lightly
Bastard.
puts him on the ground, and he looks at Og and says, "Your father needs help." And he
Oh.
stands up,
Well, good for him.
and he walks like sideways along the fissure. Og doesn't seem to realize that Septimus is any problem, or that he may be he could
in
be the
his
cause
eyes,
of
it's a
this.
guy who just saved his dad.
Yes.
He's problematic. Cancel him.
Uldred
Cancel him.
Uldred sees Septimus and he's like, "Do I know you?" Septimus says, "No, but I know you a great deal. I've been in your head." And he sees you guys, and he's like, "You made good time."
I was coming to see you to inform you of him.
To Aldred.
Who?
The guy who's been in your head, his name is Septimus. He has the ability to not only kill gods, but alter perception and memories.
He's a problem.
And I
Don't ask
believe,
questions.
and I believe that even though he saved Og's dad, he might have the stones that Og's dad was guarding.
And we do not want him to have
For
them.
Nog and Bob.
I'm gonna-
Septimus and stones, bad.
Right.
Septimus
So-
with no stones, good.
So Uldred will say, "Did you take the stones for yourself?" And Septimus is like, "Who can really say if..." And Undyne's just like, "Shut up!" And just summons four spears and sends them off. Not even rolling, I'm just having it done.
I love Undyne.
You, I say
Can
to
I
Undyne,
magic missile alongside that?
Yes.
Cool.
I'm speechless.
Cast! That was almost a nat 1 again!
I was gonna say, I'm like, I thought that was a 1 from afar. I'm
Yeah,
like,
because it's right.
Trevor.
Yeah, look at that 7 though. Oh,
Speechless.
these dice, they treated me so well at the start.
He's not gonna like disappear again.
He's not. He sees the spears and he's just like, he sees them coming. He's like, okay, and he just kind of dances around them as they land around him, and he's just like,
Well, magic missile doesn't miss. And that's 42 points of arcane damage.
go for it. You hit him, and he's like, okay.
Karate chop
I
action.
don't like you.
Arguably, you actually never did, but I viewed you as very interesting and very beautiful. But
You condescending motherfucker. Oh my god.
I want to flash
Okay.
my work on him.
if you really take a minute to breathe, you would actually see that I haven't done that much wrong. It depends on your perception.
If you tell me what to do one more time, I am going to take the entire naval fleet of Olympia and shove it up that gaping maelstrom you call an asshole.
And your new name.
You just used his word against him. Uldred's like, I'm going to give you one chance to give the stones back before I open fire, and you're not going to walk away from it.
Don't give him
you,
the
Oldred.
chance, just kill him. Sorry.
Septimus is like, you're kind of below reasonable, like, damaging, like, you're not
He monologues
really...
a lot. Attack
Just
him.
do it.
Oh my god,
It's just
Donald.
like, I gave you a chance, and he shoots a jet of thunderbolts that is so beyond anything that you can do. I'm so sorry. And he
It's not the level 15.
successfully casts...
Almost there.
I can't wait to fucking masterclass.
Masterclass.
Masterclasses.
So, sure enough, he is hit. Coco. He catches the lightning. And he's like, you see, what's funny about your power is that you don't have any power, right? You never did. You're just a farm boy from Narn.
Can I like?
And Uldred watches him and he's like,
As you
what have I
wish. Don't listen to him.
what have I been doing?
He deserves none of your credibility.
That's a good one. Have I heard that before? And Septimus is like, yes, many times. It's not that funny. He turns to you and says,
You're an asshole.
so, I'm going to give one more chance. Please see this from a different perspective than your angry one.
Can I reach down and grab like a small rock and throw it at his head?
Yeah, you can be a petulant child.
elemental mage is like,
Throw stone for Final Fantasy Tactics. Legitimate move.
this bitch an asshole. Yeet.
D20 dex check.
4.
You throw it so short of him that he's like, hi, Red.
See, you're not even worth our best efforts.
We don't even
Yeah, what she said.
like really know each other that well.
But I hate you. impressive.
And he raises the stone just easily and shoots it back at you. It penetrates through your chest
Oh,
and
cool.
shoots out the other
What?
side.
Great.
Ow.
I dropped to my knees.
Deals you 32
In
damage.
shock.
Your body is in such shock from that, you're not even taking bleed damage. It's just, it happened, and your body's like, what happened? And then Septimus makes you forget what happened to you.
But the damage is still there.
The
right?
damage is still there, but you're standing there like, what? Why?
Some pain?
Why am I hurting? So Septimus then says, I give up. On all of you. I give up.
I wanted to say something.
I
Yeah,
have been
I wanted to
every
punch you in
voice
the face.
inside your head, guiding you to this point. And even though you are moronic and selfish and foolishly thinking that you have the capability of having another option to save this land, you are all wrong.
Yeah, well, I'm rubber and you're glue. Sorry.
I will use the stones that have been gathered for me. And I will break Olympus alone. And I will wipe all of your memories again so that you never have to know a world where you are missing the gods that never appreciated you. And so he then pulls out a satchel that you didn't even know that he had. So that they were always out of sight.
Pulls it out of his ass.
And he upends it. And there are 11 souls all in front of him. Yes.
Can I mental prowess one of them towards me?
You can try.
Fuck it, why not? What's the worst that can happen?
You can go through your chest.
Worth. With my magic, that would be a 26.
Give me a d12. Oh my god.
7.
I was actually seriously
For
thinking
Septimus.
I was seriously thinking that 7 would be a lucky number so that you pull your original blue one back to you and he lets it go and he's like, I can still do it with 10. And he raises a fist and says, I deeply care about all of you and I'm
jeez.
sorry that you disagree.
We're gonna have a second movie.
And then it all goes quiet.
Could it just start
The
over?
flames just start to vanish.
Everything goes
People-
quiet, meaning like
People stop
did he
screaming.
disappear?
It's like, imagine that there was like there's like a cacophony of sound all around you because of the adrenaline, because of the panic, because of the oh god, make it stop, different spells maybe, screaming of people. All of that just seems to fade. And you're noticing that people aren't screaming and running anymore. They're stopped in the middle of the road and like looking dazed. Even Undyne next to you is looking dazed. The 4 of you maintain composure. Uldred is looking like he's not even there anymore, but like looking at the stones like he's lost. And off in the distance you hear this massive crack of stone, and you can watch from here as Olympus is falling into the ocean. As you're looking on, you are seeing a ship that is riding up to Olympia that looks very alien and not from here at all. And then, up above you, you see hundreds of stars
Ah,
falling to the ground.
no.
I'm ending session here.
Oh fuck! What the hell? That's a mind fuck.
It's called a
Amazing.
cliffhanger.
God, no. It's
Well, I mean, I think we lost.
I can't wait for the sequel.
I think we lost the
he
game.
wasn't even gonna. Yeah, we're gonna have
Oh,
to.
actually,
Are we
I
wiping?
can't end session here. There's one more thing I have to do. Undyne falls to the ground.
No, my love.
Because she's part.
She's
yeah.
a demigod.
Yeah.
No.
Uldred.
I believe in her.
Uldred is dying too. And there's nothing that you can cast to save them. They are coughing and spluttering and not understanding as their body is just very quickly shutting down.
Are they dying slowly and painfully?
Can I save her with my love?
Yes. No. You are not sure if they're being hurt or if just like their heart stopped. And now there's like nothing to sustain their inner fuel, if you will. So their ability to live has faded.
I was going to do a mercy kill, but I mean, if I can't tell that they're dying,
You can definitely tell that she's dying, but you are not you are unable to tell if she is suffering. And she will. I'm gonna make this drawn out. She will see the four of you, and ask where Hammer is. But then, as she rounds her eyes to the two of you because she met you first, she says, "Be good." And looks at you and says, "Keep your ass safe."
Can I put my hand on her?
And instead of dying like dead body corpse,
where is Hammer? I'm so sorry.
she fades.
Hammer faded?
Hammer is gone, like she's
Hammer
down
went
the
to
hill,
help all the
but
refugees and
Undyne,
stuff.
But Undyne fades away,
Oh, I thought you were saying that Hammer faded.
and Uldred faded away too.
Right.
Did he have any last words? I will go.
No one
yeah.
was over there except if you
I was,
try.
yeah, I was just waiting for an opportunity.
Okay, so if you go over there, he will look at you and say, "All I wanted to do was to save."
As he fades away, I'll just say, "I'll finish it."
You are the first thing you guys became aware of as soon as the snap happened. Yes, I'm ripping up Endgame, but
Infinity War.
Infinity
This is the
War
part where we lost.
and Endgame, that Septimus was the first to disappear, and he faded the same way that they did, like looking at himself at the hand that snaps, and he fades. That will be end of session.
Yeah. So for a record, I think I don't think there's any more gods.
Yeah, I don't think. I don't know what the hell else there is to do in this campaign.
Bye bye.
Oh, fight things, of course.